What's up, guys? Conservative Nerd here. So, man, this Virginia, the more I look into it, the more this doesn't look good. Governor Northam is asking for a civil war. And then these arrests yesterday. Now, I am going to have to say this happened yesterday. I made a lot of videos last night. I'm taking care of business today, so I haven't gotten really deep into the research on these arrests made yesterday. So I don't have a lot of deep knowledge other than the surface level. What I was told is that a bunch of white supremacists were going to cause problems at the march and create violence, and that they belonged to a group called Based. Know nothing about that group. So I will be looking into that today, see who that is, see if that even exists. And then they said a street gang, and I'm like, okay. Are they talking about Proud Boys then? Because now they designated them a street gang, So the point is, Second Amendment is being threatened. People are using their First Amendment to protect their Second Amendment. And now people who are supposedly organizing in this are being arrested for wanting to protect their Second Amendment. That's pretty much already an assault on the American people. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really care what these people's philosophy is. They were talking about going to a march to protect their Second Amendment, using their First Amendment speech. And before they can use their rights, they are incarcerated by the American government and put into jail with no proof or evidence. They've got whatever proof or evidence, and I do need to look more into this, but this is just the narrative. This is the narrative. Again, it's always these racist Trump supporters. Like anytime something happens to anyone, I just feel like back in the day when, in the 80s and stuff, and Black Lives Matter talked about this. They always describe a black man as a thug, in order to dehumanize them so that they could then go on to, make people of that race look bad in the media so that they could, commit more racist laws, more criminal penalties, and things. And it's this whole neo-Nazi, white supremacist thing. It's the white equivalent of the thug. It's a way to dehumanize white people in anything and say that whatever they believe, it doesn't matter because they're white supremacists. But they literally call everyone white supremacist. And that's the thing. When you call everyone a white supremacist, no one's a white supremacist. I just don't believe you anymore. This has got Jussie Smollett written all over it, dude. The white supremacist in the middle of the night and, below freezing temperatures with MAGA hats, recognizing a guy who, they on a show they probably never watched. These are people who were going to defend the Second Amendment, regardless of what they believe. Yes, they were they're like, oh, they were building guns. Yes. Because it's Second Amendment. Now, I will have to say, I saw someone post this, and I do agree. A gun's not a protest sign. It's a tool for self-defense and self-preservation. So that definitely does put me in an area. I started thinking about that pretty hard last night. That's actually a really good point. I would take a weapon to defend myself if I felt like I was at threat. During that, but just to take a gun, I'm not against it. This is their First and Second Amendment right. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I am saying I do see a point that it shouldn't be used as a prop, but as what it was made for, which is a tool of self-defense and self-preservation. I guess I'm going to say no more on that because I fully support the march. I fully support anyone who's going. I have seen that Antifa is going to join with the marchers. There are leftist organizations, Socialist Rifle Club, dude, I guarantee you'll probably see some of the Huey B. Newton people up there. And it sounds like, because they don't understand, it's like when they attack God and guns, They think they're attacking white people and don't realize like how all of the races, but especially like our black friends, man, like they love God. They love their guns, like I think all the anti-gun laws are in like mostly black neighborhoods, and it seems kind of racist to me trying to tell black people that they can't defend themselves when rich white people can defend themselves. Like it doesn't, it's just reserving rights for some people and based on geographic location. So, I think there's going to be a lot of all races represented. And I've said this, all races, all religions represented, all around the fact that they have a Second Amendment right. And, I'm going to look into these. I'll make another video after I research this more. But point is, by arresting those people, they've already committed a grave act against the American people, and that's already, in my opinion, like tyranny. Like they struck out and did something tyrannical, like calling martial law to tell people they can't use their First Amendment rights. Tyrannical. Arresting people who are planning to go and smearing them in the media with something irrelevant to what it's about. If they're a Second Amendment supporter, it doesn't. I'm not trying to defend white supremacists. I'm literally all I've been hearing about is white supremacists, and I've met like 3 maybe white supremacists in my life, and they were all years ago, and they were all felons. Like literally the only white supremacists I've ever actually met had spent time in prison. And like everyone else they're trying to call white supremacists are like Christians and like people who are traditionalists, people who believe in traditional value, traditional gender roles. And like those people aren't white supremacists. They're just traditional values and conservatives and Christians. Like, what the fuck? But I mean, we could look into these guys. It sounds like to me they were part of a patriot group, which all these patriot groups and militias are being now called white supremacy because they keep they can't figure out what white supremacy is, so they have to mold everything into it. And so like literally everything becomes white. So like everything white, like cotillion white supremacy, anything, teaching your children manners, white supremacy, having respect for your elders, white supremacy, like celebrating Christmas, white supremacy. It's literally lost its value because they call everything white supremacy. So I don't want to go too long on this video. This is a short one. Very gravely worried, nervous. I'm going to be doing that live stream, so please tune in for that. We'll see a lot of different views of it. Most of that footage is going to disappear after the fact, and they're going to spin it. So we'll go on with the spin, but afterwards. But stay tuned. I'm going to set up a Patreon. I would like to do this more often. If you like videos, please hit the like button, and I'll set up a Patreon and start trying to make videos more regularly. And hopefully some of y'all like what I say and get some type of, value out of it. I would like to do this as a job, but, that all depends on you. So if you like this, share. I'll set up my Patreon. I'll start putting links in that, and let's see. We could do more stuff. God bless America, and man, pray for Virginia.